A DC rapper sentenced to more than 18 years in federal prison for leading a string of violent armed robberies. Prosecutors say Trevor Jonathan White, known as Taliban Glizzy, targeted South Asian jewelry stores. His 15-member crew stole millions in cash and gold in New Jersey and Florida. Wright pled guilty to robbery and gun charges. His sentence includes 4 years of supervised release. Keeper Sutherland.
Police in Washington, D.C. finally closed the book on one of the wildest robbery sprees the East Coast has seen in years. The man accused of creating the so-called jewelry heist Avengers has officially been sentenced, the last of 16 suspects to face justice. Over the span of just 1 year, 9 Asian-owned jewelry stores were hit across 4 different states, leaving millions of dollars unaccounted for. And now, in the second week of 2026, the D.C. District Attorney confirmed that a local rapper was allegedly the mastermind behind it all, the final defendant to accept responsibility for his role in the crimes. We briefly touched on this indictment when the arrests first happened, broke it down piece by piece. But what we didn't fully dive into were the co-defendants, especially one key figure who never got the chance to face charges because he tragically lost his life after a police chase tied to one of these jewelry store robberies in New Jersey. That individual, power and respect to his name, was a local rapper, and some people say he was even more known in the DMV than Bang Lizzy, the man prosecutors say was running the whole operation. According to those close to the scene, this rapper moved from Florida to D.C. at a young age, had real talent on the mic, and showed signs he could have gone far in music. But instead of choosing the booth, the streets kept calling. And that choice changed everything. Now that everyone in the indictment has been sentenced, it feels necessary to tell the full story, front to back.
Asian jewelry stores. His 15-member crew stole millions in cash and gold in New Jersey and Florida. Wright pled guilty to robbery and gun charges. His sentence includes 4 years of supervised release. Keeper Sutherland.
We're going to identify who this suspect turned victim was, break down how he was tied to the case according to the black and white, and walk through the roles of each suspect and co-defendant involved. We'll also look at what the alleged mastermind had to say after being sentenced, including a phone call that's been raising eyebrows since it surfaced. This case proves once again how fast ambition can turn into destruction when the streets take the wheel. Now that every single person tied to this indictment has been sentenced, it's only right we tell the whole story. No skips, no shortcuts. We're gonna walk through it from top to bottom. We'll identify who this suspect turned victim really was, break down how he was connected to the case according to the black and white, and go over the role each suspect and co-defendant played in this entire operation. We're also going to get into what the alleged mastermind had to say after getting sentenced, including that phone call that's got people talking right now. But before we dive in, let me make one thing clear. I don't push no angles. I just give you the story, straight up. No bias, no sides. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because we jumping right into it right now. Now look, I never thought I'd see the day either, but they're paying me to put y'all on while y'all watching me. And since we family, of course I'm gonna share it. The app is called Free Cash App, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You play games and make real money at the same time. Simple, no games, no funny business. Here's what I'm gonna do for y'all. I'm leaving the link in the bio, and my QR code will be right there on the screen. Just snap a pic and it'll take you straight to the app. And for rocking with me, I'm even leaving y'all $5 just for signing up. That's love, straight up. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into this story, because it gets way deeper than most people realize. That $5? Yeah, that's a gift from me to you, straight up. Now, over the last 24 hours, things took another turn in this case. A leaked phone call between Trevor Wright, better known as Bang Lizzy, and another aspiring rapper from D.C. hit the internet. This is the same Bang Lizzy we've covered before, now officially sentenced to 18 years. And in that call, he finally gave his take on everything after the judge made it official. Not long after that audio surfaced, D8 fired back with her own response. And yeah, she got a little petty with it. You could hear the tension, the emotions, and the back and forth that comes when people realize this chapter is really closed. Everybody had something to say once those sentences came down. Now, if you want a full deep dive on Bang Lizzie's indictment, make sure you hit the link in the bio and check out that earlier breakdown. We went line by line on that case.
We checking in, man. Taliban Glizzy, the king of uptown. We fucking with Futures TV, for sure.
But from this point forward, this video is about someone else. I want to dedicate the rest of this story to the man who would have been indicted right alongside them if he hadn't tragically lost his life first. His name was Joshua Matthew, a father, a DMV rapper, and someone who was genuinely loved by many. On the mic, he went by the name Knucklehead Time Fly. A lot of people might remember him from years ago when he went viral after dropping a freestyle over 51 nights. That clip racked up over 500,000 views and counting, putting real eyes on him long before this case ever existed. He had momentum, talent, and buzz. But like too many stories in this city, his path took a dangerous turn. And that's where this story really begins. About 5 years ago, Knucklehead Timefly sat down for an interview with Big Mouth Media, and a lot of what he said back then hits different now. In that conversation, he was open about being in and out of jail, running into trouble, and trying to find his footing in life. He also talked about moving to the DMV from Florida at just 9 years old. His mom had reached a breaking point and wanted him to have some structure. So she sent him to live with his father. The crazy part? At that time, he had never even met his dad in person. When you listen to that interview now, you can hear it. A kid searching for guidance, but already shaped by chaos. And after watching those old clips, one thing becomes clear real fast. Knucklehead was no stranger to police chases, especially ones involving cars. Running from the law wasn't new to him. It was something he'd dealt with before. And sadly, that pattern played a role in how his story ended, because the night he lost his life, he wasn't even the driver. According to the indictment, one of the 9 jewelry store robberies tied to Bang Lizzie and the 16 co-defendants went down on December 22nd, 2022. That robbery happened in Franklin Park, New Jersey, at a jewelry store called Sentiments Incorporated. And this time, the outcome would be final and tragic. This is where the story turns heavy. And once you see how it unfolded, it's hard not to shake your head. Now remember this part, fam. This crew specifically targeted Asian-owned jewelry stores, and there was a reason behind that. Later on, investigators broke it down real clear. A lot of South Asian jewelry stores carry 22 karat to 24 karat gold, which is way higher purity than most US retail jewelry that usually sits around 10 karat to 14 karat. That detail matters a lot. Higher purity means more melt value and less hassle when it comes time to move it. You don't need brand names, fancy settings, or paperwork. Just weight and purity. That gold sells fast and clean to refined buyers, no questions asked. And that right there is why these stores were being hit over and over again. That robbery at Sentiments Incorporated would end up being the second to last armed robbery the crew allegedly pulled off. Shortly after the hit, the group split up and took off in stolen vehicles, trying to shake law enforcement. One of those vehicles was a stolen Dodge Charger, traced back to a Maryland resident identified as Franklin Hunter.
DC with it, from NC to DC, man. Who we got on Futures TV?
Taliban, man. Taliban Glizzy. Funny shit, GG shit. We uptown with it, man.
That's what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got a couple of joints that's, you know what I'm saying, making hella noise right now.
According to prosecutors, Franklin Gino Hunter, 32 years old, was driving the Charger at a high rate of speed, attempting to flee from authorities. The chase ended in chaos. Prosecutors described it as a multi-vehicle crash, with the Charger slamming into 3 other vehicles. Everything happened in seconds, no room for correction. Tragically, Joshua Matthews, just 31 years old, known to many as Knucklehead Time Fly, was riding in the passenger seat. He was found deceased inside the Charger. May he rest in peace, and love and condolences to his family and everyone who cared about him. Other occupants from the Charger reportedly fled the scene with help from associates, leaving the wreckage behind. The people in the other vehicles involved in the crash were rushed to a local hospital for treatment. One bad decision after another. And this is how it all came crashing down. After that crash, the dominoes started falling fast. Investigators didn't treat this like a simple traffic fatality. They treated it like the collapse of a criminal operation. Phones were tracked, license plate readers were pulled, surveillance footage was reviewed, and communication logs were laid out piece by piece. And once the black and white paperwork came together, prosecutors said this wasn't random. It was organized, planned, and coordinated. According to court documents, Joshua Matthews, knucklehead Timefly, was allegedly tied to multiple robberies with the same crew leading up to that night. Prosecutors say his role wasn't just being in the wrong car at the wrong time. They allege he was actively involved, moving with the group, traveling across state lines, and benefiting from the hits. That's why authorities say if he hadn't lost his life that night, he would have been indicted alongside the others. And that's the part that hits the hardest. A man with real talent, real buzz, and a real fan base, gone before he ever saw a courtroom. No chance to defend himself, no chance to explain his side, no chance to choose a different road. The streets don't offer appeals, and they don't give second chances like that. As more arrests followed, prosecutors laid out how the crew allegedly operated. Stolen cars, burner phones, rotating roles, and quick getaways. Each suspect had a lane, and according to the indictment, Bang Lizzy was the one allegedly calling the shots from the top. And with Knucklehead gone, his name stayed frozen in time, remembered by fans for his music, but remembered by the courts for what they say he was involved in. A tragic ending that shows how fast a rap dream can turn into a police report. With all the sentences handed down and the paperwork finalized, this case officially closed, but the impact is still heavy. Prosecutors say the alleged mastermind is now sitting with years behind the wall. The crew is scattered between prison cells, and the so-called jewelry heist run is finished for good. Millions in stolen gold and jewelry, still largely unaccounted for. No big payday, no victory lap, just time, regret, and silence. For many in the DMV, the name Knucklehead Timefly still hits different. To fans, he was a rapper with real hunger and raw ability. To the streets, he was someone who moved reckless and paid the ultimate price. Two truths can exist at the same time. Talent doesn't cancel bad decisions, and potential doesn't protect you from consequences. What makes this story sting is that it didn't have to end like this. Music gave him a lane, attention gave him a platform, but the streets kept pulling harder. And once you mix fast money, stolen cars, and interstate robberies, the ending is almost always the same. Courtrooms, caskets, or cells, no in between. As for the alleged mastermind, that leaked phone call after sentencing told it all. Regret, deflection, and a whole lot of "if I could do it over again" energy. But hindsight only matters when you still got time left to change. For some people in this case, that chance is gone forever. So let this be a lesson, not just entertainment. Every move has a receipt, every decision has a cost, and the streets never pay what they promise. If you found this breakdown informative, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this story, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this case was preventable, or was it always headed here? We'll catch you on the next one. After the crash, the injured victims from the other vehicles were treated at local hospitals, and at the time, police kept things vague. All they said publicly was that the suspects were fleeing an armed robbery. No names, no breakdown, no deeper details. And the only reason we now know Franklin Gino Hunter was the driver is because almost 2 years later, in February 2024, he was finally arrested. That indictment laid everything out in black and white, the same details we just went over. And here's the part that hits hard. Franklin was essentially charged in connection with his own man's death. Prosecutors hit him with a long list of serious charges, including first-degree aggravated manslaughter, second-degree vehicular homicide, and second-degree knowingly leaving the scene of a motor vehicle accident resulting in death, plus several other counts. It was a loss for the family, and at the same time, a reminder that nobody really won in this situation. What makes it even crazier is that despite everything that happened, the crew allegedly went on one final run in January 2023, and that was the last one. After that, arrests came down, indictments followed, and the whole operation finally collapsed. So there you have it, fam. According to the district attorney, this was the full story of what they called the jewelry heist Avengers. 9 robberies, 9 stores, 4 states, all within 1 year, and millions of dollars still missing. The last man standing ended up with an 18-year sentence. But behind the scenes, this same operation also led to the tragic loss of a local rapper's life, all while trying to flee the scene of one of these heists. It's an unfortunate situation all the way around. Once again, prayers up for Joshua Matthews, love and condolences to his family and everyone who cared about him. Now I want to hear from you. Let me know how you feel about this case in the comments. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story if you found it informative. I'll catch you all on the next one.